Hello, my name is Jay, and one of my videos has gotten extremely popular talking about a graphics card that I bought off of Wish. And a lot of the comments down below were talking about the fact that how Wish could not do anything to combat this. Now, actually, I will argue against that a little bit, saying that the top-end graphics cards, the ones that cost like 1080 Ti's and stuff, have actually disappeared. So I give them credit for that. They've at least removed some of the extremely out-of-the-question scams. But still, there are stuff that is drastically underpriced, and based off of the evidence that we've seen online, there is a good bit of people that have gone through, purchased this, and purchased some of these graphics cards, and ended up not getting what they expected. So today I want to talk about something a little bit more, I guess, out of the question people don't really think about, or the people want to answer the question that people have been commenting. Why has Wish not done anything about their graphics cards? And this is going to be a really deep dive, so I apologize for all the details and stuff, but I pulled up a couple things to get us started. So we're just going to start up with the graphics card. And I want to talk about this because this is the one that everyone's like complaining about. Graphics cards, there's scams everywhere, and probably all of these are a scam. I'd be willing to bet if you were spending probably a card at roughly $100 less than MSRP, or what they're currently going for, I think that that justifies the fact that it probably will not end up being what you expect. So why have they not done anything about this? And the answer to that question is, it is not just graphics cards. Across this whole entire website, there are things that are advertising what they're not. Now, I cannot guarantee everything that I show in this video will be, I don't know, a scam. I can't buy all this stuff. I am not going to buy all this stuff. But when I see something that is probably about 70% of the MSRP down, and especially for talking about graphics cards, multiple individuals, myself included, that have bought stuff and found out that it's not what we expected, through in-depth tech deep dives and seeing like exactly what's going on, I'd be willing to bet that majority of the things that we're going to show today that are really drastically underpriced are not necessarily the same thing. I mean, I understand Wish had the wonderful idea of selling stuff for a lower price, but I also understand that these are a lot of scams, and I think that saying that Wish needs to do something about it is something they need to do across the whole website. So, have they changed anything? Well, first off, we don't see a bunch of 1080 Ti's for $5 or $1 somewhere on the internet. We see a bunch of 1050s and a 1060 8GB. So, I want to bring to your attention the fact that 100 people plus have bought this. Now, we've already established, a lot of people have established, that these cards that people are actually end up getting are probably worth about 20 bucks. That means these people are getting about 18 buck profit margin. Now, you could argue a lot of stuff, but for a 1060 on eBay right now, and we're just going to go with the stock fan cooler, you're looking at maybe around 130 to 140 bucks. 130 for with the box or without the box, with a pretty decent cooler. So 130 bucks. Now, think about that. It's a $90 drop in price. Now, I cannot in my right mind tell anybody you should get a graphics card that's, I don't know what percentage that is, but like 70% lower than what it should be on a sketchy website that has a bad reputation. I cannot justify that to anybody. You cannot go out and buy this, especially when they're advertising an 8GB model of the 1060. By the way, the 1060 only came with a 5GB, 3GB, and 6GB model. There were no 8GB models. Heck, the 5GB model only came overseas in the Asian area because of the, I believe, gaming cafes. But that was advertised and marketed to. So really in the States, for us, over in America, we had a 6GB and a 3GB model, and that was really it. And people that, you do a little bit of research, you see that not only are we having something that is drastically underpriced for what it's advertised, but it's also not making sense. And I feel like with 100 plus people buying this, I understand there's a lot of us that are trying to cash in on this Wish. Heck, I am getting so many views from that purchase of $40. I will say that will probably be one of my best purchases of my life. But for me, it just doesn't add up that people will, if in their right mind or a regular consumer looking to buy something, that they will buy something that is so drastically underpriced. Now let's do something else. Let's do SSDs, because honestly, I would love to buy some solid state drives. Now, for some of these, I probably can say that you may end up actually getting what you paid for. As you can see, $100 for a terabyte, roughly. That makes some sense. Okay. Let's do a terabyte. I saw a lot of terabyte thumb drives, so we can look at this and we can see that makes roughly sense. 2 terabytes, okay, that's probably a hard drive itself. Here we got a mechanical hard drive that I think is a ripoff of the Western Digital Blue. But we just start looking through here, and some of this stuff, you've got some stuff that makes a lot of sense, and then let's do 1 terabyte thumb drive, USB drive, and this is where things, as I said, show that it's not just limited to graphics cards. We look around, and this is what also shows up. Now, I clearly can not say, I really just can't say that this is a good purchase. 12 bucks, I mean, this is not the same level of price. This is obviously not 40 bucks. But for a flash drive that has probably one of the worst photoshopping jobs that I've done, I could Photoshop this pretty well. Which doesn't even have the logo here. Honestly, you can clearly tell that this was not necessarily done well. But with standard shipping of $3, $12, and a USB stick that I will say probably doesn't particularly work the way it should be. It's probably only like maybe a 16 gig if you're lucky. You just look around and you can clearly see that this is not just limited to graphics cards. It is quite evident across the whole site. I also would like to take a quick second to also bring up the shoe argument, because I am not familiar with the shoes. I'm more into basketball shoes, but for me, not into the more expensive shoes by Kanye West. But I know for a fact that they are not $19. And just adding to my argument, it's not just graphics cards, it's quite almost everywhere on the site. So to answer the question, has Wish done anything to change? No. Now, in my videos, I like to go through and offer solutions, because it's nice to, call attention to something that is incorrect, inaccurate, and wrong. I also think that you should also offer solutions, and here's my solution. I think that there are a lot of people that are looking across this website that have no idea what they're talking about, or no idea what they're doing, I guess, and they just buy stuff. And I understand that's a separate group. But there are also a lot of the, I would say semi-knowledgeable, that would be probably me, semi-knowledgeable people that know that when you have a $8 flash drive that advertises 2 terabytes, or a $12 flash drive that advertises 2 terabytes, or heck, a 1080 Ti that's $40, you should know, or at least those people should have the ability to say, hey, something's up here. And not everyone will say something's up here, but I have a feeling that if enough people say something's up, they should look into it. And I feel like hiring a little bit of staff, even if the price is raised, even if the little bit of margins that they had to raise prices a little bit more, I feel like people would be a lot happier, because I feel like you're not getting a positive look on your website when you have a bunch of scams on it and people are losing money and they're not getting what they paid for. There's a lot of people that are really upset, and I feel like if you spent more money on managing and checking and moderating, I guess, what you have on your website, you'll end up with a better user experience, therefore more customers. And I feel like that is what really needs to change, because right now I feel like some of the stuff, either people don't know that it's a scam when they're moderating, or there's just no moderation whatsoever. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, of course, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and hope you guys, thank you for all the new people that have joined the channel as well. And we'll get back to doing a $400 workstation build in a second, but that's kind of what I've been working on recently. So have a wonderful day. Goodbye.